The Iowa Code, actually prior to the Creasy case, you can see the Iowa Code, it states specifically what it looks like to have a lack of consent to enter. It says in that statute that any person who has no right, license, or privilege to be in the house. Those are important words. If you have no right, license, or privilege to be in the house, then we're already starting with a lack of consent. We've seen two cases where this is kind of obvious. In the first, it's really obvious. We've got a stranger, Creasy, who didn't have consent to enter the sorority house. He had no right, license, or privilege to be there. And then we have Schrack, who may have looked like he had consent, but because it was obtained by fraud, he doesn't have right, license, or privilege either to be there. The Iowa Code represents the majority view on this topic, even if it's not specifically spelled out in the code section. For our purposes, what we are looking for is an entry without consent. We are looking for an entry where the person doesn't have right, license, or privilege to be there. That's also telling us a flip conclusion. It's also telling us that if a person does have the right, license, or privilege to be in the home, then he can't be guilty of a burglary. That actually makes good sense. There's no heart-stopping feeling. You've invited the person into your home. If he commits a crime while inside the home, he's going to get charged and punished for the crime inside the house. But he shouldn't be charged for breaking in your home, entering your home. There's no heart-stopping feeling. You invited him into your home. So consider this problem. We've now done Creasy, we've done Schrack. Let's suppose I have a dinner party and I invite people to it. And before inviting people to my home, I've got one of these invited guests who says, I can't wait to go to Professor Carpenter's home for dinner. I'm really excited. The food's going to be great, which it is. And oh, by the way, I'm also going to steal the silverware while I'm in Professor Carpenter's home. So invited guest that evening comes to the house, and invited guest starts to pocket the salad fork, the regular fork, the knife, the spoon, all in the pockets. Let's examine what that invited guest has done. The question is, the invited guest has committed a theft. We can see that taking of the property without consent, so the invited guest has committed that theft. Now the question is, has the invited guest also committed a burglary? She wanted to steal before she entered the house. Has she committed the burglary? The answer in the majority of jurisdictions is that she has not committed a burglary. Yep, she had the wrongful mens rea, but she had lawful consent to enter. She had the right, license, and privilege to be in the house. Unless it was obtained by affirmative fraud, she's in the house with my consent. Yeah, but she had the secret intent to steal, you might think. So isn't that kind of fraudulent? That's not the kind of fraud we're talking about. We're really speaking about affirmative fraud. Really, in my situation, I just exercised bad judgment. I invited the wrong person into my home. That invitation doesn't get negated because the person had a secret intent to steal.